But hey, at least Draken's getting excited by saying a very...
That was a weird comment at the end, wasn't it?
I was just about to say that. Once again, man, Draken hits me with another cringy-ass line where he's just like, oh, man, this motor hasn't been heated up in a while. It's like, I'm getting excited. I'm just like, Draken, dude, you got to stop with these cringy-ass lines.
That line was said, I was just like, I don't know if he's going to fight him or fuck him.
Hello, welcome into AniMan Plus, episode 41. I'm your host, Alex Light with Sparky3. Hopefully you are having a phenomenal day, whatever day you are listening to this podcast, perhaps watching this podcast over at our YouTube channel, Sparky3. Make sure to like the video, give us a subscribe. We greatly appreciate that. We got some interesting stuff to talk about today. We got a lot of stuff popping out with MAPPA right now, involving just kind of like the shitty work environment it's been and what they're trying to do to fix it. We also are going to be talking about a new series, a part of Weekly Shonen Jump. What was the English name for it? I know that the name that we've been calling is Martial Arts Road Neru, but I know I did notice there was a new name. Either way, Neru, we're going to be talking about that here in a little bit, giving our thoughts on it. And joining with me, as always, we do have Zach here in the studio. Zach, how are you doing today?
I'm good. And Neru, Way of the Martial Artist.
That's what it was. Way of the Martial Artist. Thank you. And then over the phones, we do have Josh, who I really hope is preparing that inspirational speech to be delivered on June 24th, 2023. Josh, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I've gotten one word on the inspirational speech.
Oh, what is it?
It's the.
The. Awesome. We're off to a great start. I love what I'm hearing right now. All right, so let's run through some plugs real quick, and then we can just kind of jump into the show because we do have a decent amount to talk about. I will say also we did have a couple of our normal like weekly animes that were on a break this week, like My Hero Academia was on a break, 2 Year Eternity, also reflected with the mangas as well. I am caught up on 2 Year Eternity manga, so starting next week I'll be rating those, and I imagine Zach might be right there behind me because he's almost caught up as well. I know 7 Deadly Sins, 4 Nights of the Apocalypse is on a break also. All right, so first and foremost, if you could, go follow us at Twitter at AniMan Podcast. We'd greatly appreciate that. Same handle over at Instagram as well if you want to follow us there. Make sure to check out my other podcast, Lighthearted Gamers. You can follow us at Twitter at LH Gamers Podcast. And lastly, if you want to support us, the Patreon's a great way to do so, but do not feel obligated. But if you want to support us even further than you already do, that is the way to do it. But hey, just be a friend, tell a friend about the show. That's enough for us. All right, so let's run through the shout-outs today. Let's give our thoughts on them. All right, so first up, just a sad shout-out. Give rest in peace to Felice Sampler, voice actress over here in the West that's lent her voice to series such as like Digimon, Legend of Korra, Bobo, Mob Psycho, Demon Slayer, and JoJo. So big shout-out to them. Big T's and P's to the entire family and friends. Quick moment of silence here. Moment has passed. Next thing we have here on the shout-outs, JoJo Stone Ocean. We do have a streaming event set for August 8th, which, Josh, I did enjoy your joke that you put up on our Twitter involving
Thank
that,
you.
where it was just like, but it was actually me, Dio. I did enjoy that, enjoyed some of the comments I saw on that. We did get a trailer for Demon Slayer. Entertainment District Arc trailer was released. I do have an interesting little thought on that. So here's something that was kind of interesting that got us talking a little bit. Shueisha and Bandai Namco recently registered a trademark for One Piece Odyssey. So that is very interesting to see what's going to be coming out of that. We do probably also have Blue Lock Anime on the way. Domain was created for it. That is one that we've been waiting on for a little while now to hear something about an anime. It's one of the more popular series over in Weekly Shonen Magazine, so we knew it was a matter of time. Vinland Saga Season 2 was confirmed, so that's a nice little shout out there. We do also have something on the way called Star Wars Visions. It's going to be a collection of short films by various Japanese anime studios. It's going to premiere on Disney Plus September 22nd, so if you're a Star Wars fan, be on the lookout for that. I know the Star Wars animation that they've done in the past, the different shows and stuff have been pretty fire, so look out for that. Here's something that's actually something to be kind of excited for. The creator of Full Metal Alchemist will be having a new series in Shonen Gengan. Is that how you pronounce it? Gengan? Gan?
Yeah.
Gan? Okay. Thank you. It'll be a Japanese fantasy style setting. I did know that the pro tag was like an archer from the shot that we got to see, and Full Metal will be getting some sort of book for its 20th anniversary as well as an art exhibit It's unclear if those are going to be announced on the event that we have coming up here on July 12th. The event, it will be streamed, I believe, on Square's YouTube channel, if I remember correctly. Which actually did cause some questions. We did not know why. Did find out why, that the Shonen Gangan is from Square. Did not know that, but it is. They publish over in Japan only. So there's a little fun fact for you for the day. Square Enix has its own manga publishing magazine that has Full Metal Alchemist. Did not know that, but cool. And then lastly, this one is a little upsetting. This one's a little depressing here. Shield Hero Season 2 did get delayed from October of this year to April of next year.
Woo!
Not woo.
I mean, woo! I mean, it means I have something to watch in spring, because...
Fair. We don't know what's all coming in spring at this time, but I was looking forward to that for this October. But with all that said, do you boys have any thoughts on all the stuff that was in the shout-outs this week? I will say one thing that I thought was kind of interesting with the Demon Slayer Entertainment District arc was for the logo, they specified Entertainment District arc on the actual logo for the season. So it just kind of thought in my head, is that all we're getting for this season? I do know it's a little bit of a beefier arc. We know this, but we are also kind of thinking, are we going to get a couple of like the little smaller ones, maybe one more smaller one before the season ends? But I did think it was kind of interesting. The logo did strictly specify, for that arc. So that may be the only thing we're getting for this season.
I mean, I would not be surprised by that with how they've been doing Demon Slayer stuff in general, animation-wise. Yep. So, I mean, they'll probably put just full focus on that entire arc and probably make it as good as possible, maybe even better. So
I agree. But
there's a couple like smaller arcs, before and after it, that it more than likely. I mean, it'll definitely include the stuff that happens between the train and that. So I mean, that's a good I would say 5 episodes maybe.
Mm-hmm. Well, what about anything else on the shout-outs? You guys have any thoughts on it? Any takeaways? Anything that you want to talk about?
I mean, with the Star Wars Visions, I can only hope we get a weird feudal Star Wars episode of just lightsaber naginatos, bows and arrows, all that fun stuff.
That'd actually be kind of cool.
I mean, it would be.
Yeah.
The Star Wars Visions trailer looks really, really kind of dope. Mm-hmm. I really liked it from what it showed.
Right.
So it's pretty exciting.
Josh, did you have something else? I thought you were going to talk about something.
No, I was going to concede that One Piece Odyssey more than likely is probably going to be a new game because we did have that argument where we're like, I was like, well, Bandai Namco, they do own like partial license to like Dragon Ball Z and Boruto and One Piece, and they get credited on their movies now. So that's why I figured it'd be a movie, but from what I'm seeing, it's more than likely a game. So you guys were right. I wanted to publicly announce that. Yeah,
and I will say I had no idea that they assisted in publishing for movies. No clue. Had no clue they did that until you sent me the back of the Stampede and you circled it. I had no idea that was a thing. Which also shout out to the fact that I want everyone to know that when Josh sent that in Discord, he sent it originally as a very, very sassy message and then changed it thinking that no one saw it. But your boy saw it, and I was just like, I'm going to leave that alone for right now.
Yeah, I know.
But
I was like, I'm going to win this argument here. So I was being super sassy. But no, I just wanted to bring that full circle.
Okay.
I know, just because the Square Enix publishing, like, Full Metal.
Right.
Like,
gotcha.
Learning things this week.
I will say when it comes to the One Piece Odyssey, the way that I look at it is while Bandai, they have helped with producing before, and they even have I did find out they do have their own animation studio that does some other series, not like Dragon Ball or anything.
Gintama.
Yeah, Gintama was one they've done. But the one thing that I see about this and take away is that if it's going to be Shueisha and Bandai filing the trademark, it's a game. If it was going to be like Shueisha and Toei, then it's a movie. That's the way I looked at it.
But you know what it means with Josh finding out that Bandai has their fingers in all this? Odyssey is just going to be Jump Force 2, the One Piece crew going through alternate universes to different islands of different series.
I would 100% play it.
I know you would.
Don't get me wrong. I own like 4 One Piece games, and they're all made by Bandai Namco, and I love them.
And if you had the ability to, I know you would play World Seeker, even though everyone hates World Seeker.
If I had a PlayStation 4, World Seeker would be, and Burning Blood. I want to play both of those.
Yeah, so whatever's coming out of One Piece Odyssey, hopefully it's better than World Seeker. Because World Seeker, when that was coming out, even though I hadn't started reading One Piece yet, that was a game that did catch my eye. Because it's like, okay, One Piece, open world type of setting, cool. We'll see how this goes. Not well.
You know, a lot of the actually decent One Piece games we never saw here in the West, because there's like tons of them over in Japan.
Right. And that is the unfortunate downside to a lot of anime games, because there's a pretty decent amount of games from the past that look phenomenal that just never came over here.
All right, let's get your Hitman Reborn love out of here for a second. Talk about it.
He knew I was alluding to that.
Yeah,
that was the first ones that crossed my mind. Is there some pretty sweet looking Hitman Reborn games over there?
Oh, is there?
Yeah. And once upon a time, like many moons ago on the good old PSP, there was a couple of fairy tale games that looked really fun that we never got a chance to play.
PS what?
PSP.
I don't know what this thing is you call. Josh, do you know what he's talking about?
It's like a PS Vita, but older.
What's a Vita?
Okay. You know what the handheld PlayStations are.
I do not know what this blasphemy is.
He's erased it from his memory.
I know. I realize that now.
Yeah, he's erased it from his memory. Hey, shout out to the fact that, PS Vitas and that, they're still somewhat relevant. People like to buy them and do a lot of mods on them. So.
Yeah, because they're basically... Someone put up a thing. It's like basically the PSP and the PS Vita are the same thing as the new Switch.
Yep. It really is. Except the PS Vita, you could, customize your home menu and organize stuff. But other than that, they're basically the same thing. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, not much difference there. But looking forward to seeing some of the stuff coming out. Definitely looking forward to seeing what's coming out of the Full Metal Alchemist creator. Looking forward to that for sure, as well as whatever this new project is that we're going to get to see on the 12th. I'm really excited to see what that could potentially be, and disappointed about Shield Hero. It does kind of lighten up for what we're gonna have this fall. Gonna have to go back and actually review what we have coming out this fall, because as of now, Demon Slayer is still not confirmed. That's just what we're expecting. That's what the reports are. I haven't actually seen anything confirmed for like hard set. Yes, it's coming this fall. That's just what we believe is coming this fall. Mm-hmm. Platinum Inn was one that we're looking forward to, but losing Shield Hero for this fall is kind of disappointing. But
I'll be okay. Got Platinum Inn, got 86.
That is true.
I'm still going to have Dragon Quest at this point.
Yep, you will never get rid of Dragon Quest. You're stuck with it. Yeah. You're easily stuck with it till like next summer.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, easily. Easily stuck with it till next summer.
Yeah.
Hey, you stuck with it. I give you a lot of props for that.
Demon Slayer it's confirmed for this year, so it's a good chance that it's fall, but yeah, it could always be December, so early winter.
Yeah, and I will say, I haven't stopped to check out the manga, but I am looking forward to seeing what's going to come out of Blue Lock, potentially. I am looking forward to that, because I have seen nothing but just incredible things about Blue Lock online.
Yeah.
So looking forward to seeing what the potential is going to be there. And let's also be excited for when Dio crashes the show at the JoJo event.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's actually hop over to some big news this week. Let's talk about some MAPPA drama, them trying to fix the drama, trying to get a better work environment, all that good stuff. All right, so, let's catch some people up. Base point here is MAPPA has been, we hold it in such high regard because of their incredible animation skills. But ultimately, like a lot of animation studios, MAPPA is kind of a shit show, more or less. Pay people low, terrible work environment. That's the gist of what's come out online. Okay, just catch people up there. So the first thing is there was a MAPPA animator that recently did an interview that when he was working with Netflix on Yosuke, tweeted about how the producers suggested they pay only 3,400 yen per cut, which is about $34 for us. The industry standard is about 4,500 yen, which is already low. But he also then followed up on his comment, to avoid misunderstanding, I have to say that my issue is with Netflix. For all the amount of capital they have, the problem is that they started to place orders with such low rates. There's a possibility that the prices are even lower than a TV series. So that was the first little tidbit that came out of this.
That might actually be why Yasuke was so poorly done then. If you're getting paid very under minimum, screw it. Why are you going to put a lot of effort into it?
Yes, exactly. The next thing that was coming out is involving Chainsaw Man that is coming to Netflix later this year. So apparently Chainsaw Man has started a new phase for MAPPA, essentially. Over the last year, MAPPA, of course, has gotten this terrible name for itself, that, as we've heard, for the working conditions. And recently in a magazine, the Chainsaw Man director unveiled a new workspace for the Chainsaw Man staff, which is featuring a large lounge area, which breaks are encouraged. Further goes on, which I did think this part that it says, I did think this was funny, because I even had to text Josh, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Was this a typo? Yeah. What is this? What does this mean? I did not know. But the article literally says, MAPPA intends to have an animation village filled with nature, shapes, and cafes for its staff. And I had to ask, what the hell was shapes in this case? They literally have shapes building blocks. What does that mean? But anyway, it does go on to say that while the work conditions have vastly improved, it is a big step in the direction, but it may not mean anything unless the wage condition is solved, which the last part of this whole thing. MAPPA did actually put out an official statement when it comes to employees' pay. They say that we've never offered unreasonable compensation to our creators, but offered rates that are fair relative to the budget of the project, whether in current or past projects. It also claimed that there was never been a focus for creators to work. So what's you guys' thoughts on this? Because here's my big takeaway about this. We've heard about working conditions like this before, okay? We know that animators don't get paid really well, okay? We know that. That's nothing new. My big thing about this is MAPPA's not sorry this has happened. They're sorry they got caught. That's how I see this.
Basically.
Yeah, they're making all these big steps because of how much things have been put out into the open. Okay, that's how I view this. They're not sorry any of this shit's happened. They're just sorry they got caught. That's all it is. And it's one of those things as well. And I saw for Neverworld tweet about this. I want to give a shout out to him on this. Is that he talked about how, again, we've seen this sort of shit all the time in the past, and all that's really going to happen out of this is that we're talking about it now as fans and as the community, but then the next big hit's going to come out, we're going to forget about it, praise the animation, move on, right? Which is true, and that is part of the problem, is that when these things do come out, I do feel like they don't get enough light. I don't feel like they get enough focus. But when it comes to this, good on MAPPA to actually step up and make some changes, but again, they're only doing it because they got caught. That's my big takeaway from this.
Well, here's my thing with it is yeah, I agree with you from all these statements and whatnot. It's more or less just sounds more of they're backtracking more than apologizing at all, because we haven't seen any sort of official statement or just apology or anything.
Exactly.
Which, for all we know, there may have been some company thing that sort of acts like that, and they just want to keep it in company. But at the same time, these are literally just statements and things that they are claiming they are pushing forward, and things who's going to go back and double check these? I mean, all we're really hoping is that they are doing this, and then if they don't, maybe an employee's able to get something out there or whatnot. But I don't know the work environment, so I don't know how easy it is for them to have a gag order or anything on stuff like that. So, I mean, sort of shitty, but it is sort of the thing of, yeah, it's been brought to light and now we're aware of it, but as you said, new animation comes out, people will sort of forget until the next thing shows up.
Yeah, the next problem. Yeah.
And that's basically how it is. With Attack on Titan, a lot of people wanted to complain about the animation quality, but then that only lasted until everyone started watching Jujutsu Kaisen.
True.
And they were like, "Oh, Jujutsu Kaisen's amazing!" Blah, blah. And it's kind of, I don't know, weird for me because I see all this stuff about MAPPA, but I don't see anything about any of these other animation studios. True. Like WID or Toei or any of these, or even Dean, which is really odd. Is MAPPA the only one that's really this bad? If so, maybe they really do need to take a look at themselves.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I don't know if they're the biggest studio, but they're one of the most well known.
Yeah, I don't think they're the biggest studio, but
definitely a top 5.
Yeah,
definitely a top 5. And it is possible it's just them. Because little little plug here from other podcasts, Lighthearted Gamers. I mean, it's the same thing in the gaming industry. That there's been lots and lots of stuff come out about a couple different companies and just how terrible the environments are. But it's only select a few. Blizzard is a great example.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen so many reports about how shitty Blizzard's been, where there's literally employees like sleeping under their desk and crying in hallways and shit. I mean, this stuff happens, but it could be just MAPPA. MAPPA could just be one of the few shitty ones, but at the same time, it could be possible there could be others, and they're just really tight-lipped about it. But I mean, like I said, it's good to see that they're doing the changes, but I don't know, just the changes to me just kind of feel like half-assed, half-hearted, because it's just, again, they're sorry they got caught. That's it. That's the only thing about it.
That's pretty much, exactly what I got from it. When you send me that text, like, well, that sucks anyway. I was like, that's basically how it is.
Yes. Yeah. I sent him a couple memes where this is basically how it's going to turn out, where it's just like, oh no. Anyway. And then there's also the one from Loki where it's just like, yeah, unfortunate. Okay. So anyway, that's basically what this situation is that, we're like, oh wow, that's tragic. Ooh, that looks really good over there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. That's basically what this is going to be. Give it literally a week, and we'll probably stop talking about this as a community.
Chainsaw Man or that one they're doing with Madhouse, like one of those come out and it's like it'll nobody will remember.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is good to talk about this stuff because this stuff does need more light shed to it. So I would like to take the platform that we're attempting to build and give it its shed to light that it does deserve. So hopefully we can try to keep this relevant because this is important stuff. But ultimately, the anime community will just drop it. Give it a week. It'll be irrelevant.
I have a thought here, and this just came to me, but do you think this is all happening solely because of Attack on Titan? Because that was one of the most hated on things when it was on, and that's when weirdly around when all this started happening was between Attack on Titan and Yasuke. So do you think it's because of how much people didn't really care for how those were done that this is becoming a big deal? Like these animators and stuff are kind of jumping on board with that, and
it is
it's hard. Nobody liked it. Fuck this place.
It is definitely possible because it's one of those things. It's like the final straw sort of situation, final straw, and it's just like, okay, this is something popped up where it's like, this is the opportunity for us to strike kind of situation.
Yeah.
With the amount of just how much it's being bashed, with how much, the other one's being bashed, this is our opportunity to step up and do something. So yeah, I definitely could see that as a possibility. They saw a chance and they took it. So yeah, I definitely think that could be a possibility.
Because the way I'm looking at it too is if they're really getting paid lower than the industry average,
right?
Why wouldn't they just be like, okay, well, I'm going to go to Toei and get paid a little bit better? Why would they stick it out through that? There's literally no reason.
Well,
I mean, if you're a good animator, you could probably get a job.
I think that's more of a cultural difference.
Maybe it's possible.
Because I was reading how the Japanese workforce is versus the U.S. workforce.
Yeah, and that's possible. Because the reason I brought it up is because I was reading in one of those articles, I don't remember which one, but compared to Toei, MAPPA doesn't offer its employees, as much as other companies. Toei will put you through an animation school, basically. Mm-hmm. Whereas I think one of those articles was saying that MAPPA basically just throws you in and is like, all right, hope you know what to do. So that's why, I come to that conclusion, why not just, go somewhere, or at least, knowing if they're going to pay you less, try to go somewhere else. But you're right, cultural differences.
Yeah.
I've never been to Japan, so I don't know.
Maybe one day. Well, like I said, we're going to make our attempt to try to continue to talk about this as needed. Because I do hate the idea. Because me saying those memes I sent to Josh, where it's like, oh, that's tragic. Well, anyway, that's not how I feel about it. That's just me calling out the community. That's how this community is going to be. Because we're just going to be like, oh, look at this next cool thing. But it's one of those things where a good friend of mine once told me that when something's fucked up, and you call it out. Good friend told me that once. So, with that said, we're going to continue to try to talk about that as it pops up in the news and everything along those lines. But let's hop over to our anime talks for the week. Like I said, no 2 Year Eternity, which feels like might have been kind of needed after last week. Last week was really rough.
I mean, and you got to think about it this way. We are premium, and we get to watch it a week early before free people.
Yeah.
So there's people who are watching it this week going, what?
Yeah. Feel bad for them, man. You know what? I got to do it. Another moment of silence. Moments passed.
All right.
Man, episode 12 was rough. I needed this break this week. But even though I say I needed this break, here I am reading through the manga now and now caught up. Man, it gets worse. Like, this is so brutal. So I'm glad in terms of the anime, I am glad we got a break. With the My Hero stuff, we're about to go, just complete head first with the villain stuff here very, very soon. The last episode was very much a great setup for it, so pretty pumped there. But let's kick things off with One Piece 981. Shit's really starting to pop off over in Wano. So Josh, let's talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, this episode, it's gonna pop off next week. Next week, I'm for sure. Like, it looked amazing in the preview trailer. This week, not so much, because it was basically just like a big, homage to Jinbei joining the crew. So it wasn't too much. Towards the end, though, when, we finally got the Straw Hats, like, landing on Onigashima and, like, taking down the Beast Pirates, like, that was actually pretty nice. Like, they all got their kind of moment to, like, shine and show off their moves and stuff. But, I mean, yeah, more or less, it wasn't, like, an over-the-top episode. It was, like I said, basically just like an homage to Jinbei going from, impelled down to whole cake the last time we saw him. So
what, it was just a giant, hey, Jinbei, this is your life in the series?
Yeah, just a clip show, more or less. It was basically what it was for, until they did, at the end, finally all get their kind of moment. But like I said, it showed the preview for the next episode, and it looks amazing. I can't wait for Saturday to come because, oh man, it's one of those movie quality episodes.
Ooh, those are always nice.
Like Fishman Island quality?
Yeah, no, man.
Nah. He says.
No, yeah.
That'll be a future shirt in the Sparky 3 merch store. It's just Josh's face and just nah. Well, looking forward to hearing you gushing over 982. One Piece always delivers with top tier animation, especially when shit's really popping off.
Oh yeah.
But what about Dragon Quest? Do we have anything popping off over at Dragon Quest?
I was thinking about it. I was just like, I watched it.
And you're trying to remember it?
Not a whole lot happened.
Okay.
I mean, they finished off the fighting stuff. Mystavern showed up to kill Hadlar, and Hadlar's like, I don't care what you do, but give me one last chance. I'm going to become a super being, and I'm going to kill them all. And Mystavern's just like, all right, that works. King Vern will approve it, so I'm going to go with this. And the giant castle that's been apparently hiding underneath the sea, he's now piloting it to the closest town where all the leaders of the countries are gathering because of our princess is doing a summit, and he's currently driving a giant castle golem, Mystavern is, to this city.
Wait, a castle golem?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the castle that the Dark Army resided in could apparently turn into a golem with a key.
Okay.
Yes.
So like Howl's Moving Castle?
No.
A different?
Yes.
Okay.
So that happened on the bad guys' part. Diane crew are still looking for Dai to find a sword. Oh yeah.
Wait, they're still looking for a sword?
They're still looking for the sword because the one they went to the tournament to acquire was apparently a fake.
God damn it.
So it got destroyed.
Damn fakes.
So they go back to Pamnika, find out, oh no, let's ask people if they know any sword. Find a king. Meryl, our seer girl, is back, the one who's crushing on Pop. She does some weird Farseer stuff and finds out that they have to go to Pop's hometown to find the legendary sword that they need. So they go back to Pop's village. Meryl has sort of a moment of jealousy with Mam, thinking she's not as pretty as Mam and all this fun stuff. Meet Pop's family, hugs his mother, gets freaking tornado thrown by his father into the ground.
You say, what, run that by me again?
His father, upon seeing him, goes, "You think you can just leave?" Picks him up like Zangief, spins around and throws his ass into the ground.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, then Pop's father tells dying crew about Darkling, who lives out in the forest, who's the guy who made both Hyunkul's sword and the spear Hyunkul now uses. And he's a drunkard going, "I'm never going to craft again. I don't care about making weapons. I care about their performance." And they proceed to explain how Dai used his sword to break in half Barham's sword, which is the greatest sword that's created by the gods. And the guy suddenly goes, "You destroyed that sword with my sword? My god, I will make you a weapon. But you got to get me the materials. But when you do, I'll make you a weapon." And all I can think of, you're just going to believe these strangers who you just met somehow first acquired one of your two weapons, two fought the legendary sword made by the gods and broke it. Okay. And then it finishes off with Mr. Vern's armored knights attacking the village or the town. Yeah.
So, will Dragon Quest ever be your favorite episode of the week besides that one time?
Was it my favorite episode of a week one time?
Josh, correct me. It was at least one time. I want to say Zach's exact words were, "I'm going to mix it up this week. I'm going to say Dragon Quest." And we're like, oh, okay.
You know what? I vaguely do remember that.
Is Dragon Quest ever going to be like your favorite watch of the week, you think? You think it's possible that's going to happen again?
I mean, probably not. I'm still listening to the same opening song. I mean,
oh no.
All these other series we're watching have like new opening animations and songs. This one, they still have the same. They don't have the budget to purchase a new song, but they have the budget to do whole new animations for the opening.
God damn it.
So I'm just sort of like, okay.
You're stuck with it, man. I feel so bad for you every week.
I mean, I'm sort of at the man. It's not a bad series, but at the same time, I'm just like, I'm too invested to quit at this point.
You really are, man. You can't just drop it.
I'm too invested to quit, but it's not good enough for me to get like hype about it.
That's fair. Oh man, I feel bad for you.
It's your fault.
It is my fault. I know. That's why I feel bad. It's my fault. I put it on the script.
I hope we have a moment whenever we have like a year of Dragon Quest when we get to that moment. Do you remember what episode we first put that on the script?
I can find out.
Go back and look.
I can find out. I got you. Now, you did watch the first episode of a new series here for the summer.
Yeah.
That was the one that I completely swore off of because of the spider people.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's out?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's called Tsukiyomi New Moon. It's an isekai series, pretty much kids living in normal high school world, which he's an exceptional archer to the point where he's had two beautiful women confess to him, but that's neither here nor there. Finds out his parents are from another world, and they made a deal with their goddess that they would give her the thing that they treasure the most if she sent them to Japan, and now she's calling in that debt. So he meets a god, the god of the moon, whose I think name is Tsukiyomi, but I could be wrong. And he's just like, explains it all to him. Kid's just like, "So if I don't go, you'll send one of my sisters?" "Yeah, I'm a go." So he takes a hit for his family, leaves letters, goes off, only for this goddess to go, "You're ugly."
Damn.
What duckling did you come? More or less just completely insults him and everything, and just
Rude.
like, "I can't have you interacting with my humans," and just throws him to the edge of her world.
That's rude.
Yeah. Where the god from his world comes in, it's just like, "That damn goddess, how dare she?" The only thing she gave him was the ability to speak to all non-human languages, and his god gave him some powers. And turns out he's superhuman because of Earth.
Of course he is.
Because Earth has some barrier where gods can't give blessings, and then people have gravity.
Makes sense.
And since all that's gone, he's now like superhuman and can pretty much do whatever. And
True pro tag.
he walks around the desert wastelands for 3 days, finally hears help, goes and saves this maiden from this two-headed dog, only to see that the maiden is a orc person, a pig person. Saves her, scares the crap out of him, because with one kick he completely rips off one of the heads.
Nice.
It's just a nice gruesome shot of a headless dog. Her scared. He convinces her, I'm here to help. After smashing his hands through a mountain. There's even a funny moment where where it has options like an RPG of fight, no, run away, impossible, give up,
yes.
And more or less you find out she's a maiden who's being sacrificed to some being because their village has been covered in fog, and and they have to sacrifice a maiden to be able to get it to relieve for a little bit. So she takes him to a village. He cleans up. He gets fed after 3 days. She shows him how to do magic. They find he does like super strong magic, only to come to find out he's level 1.
Yikes.
Yeah. So everyone ignores him. He decides. There's even a funny moment where he's just like, I found her. I rescued her. Oh no. If I save her, she's going to become my heroine. I can't let this happen. So after all that, he decides, I guess I'll go deal with the Shin person. Gets there, sees a nice little Shinto shrine, and practices magic by shooting a fire arrow and destroys the shrine, only to come to find out there were people waiting there to take the pig girl Emma away, and they were apparently using Shin's name trying to control the Highland orcs for reasons. They go, well, now you screwed up. We were just here as fakes, but now you've angered the real Shin as they're dying. And yeah, a dragon shows up to fight him. He proceeds to fight a dragon and win. Literally,
just casually fight a dragon, win. Okay.
Literally called Shin the Undefeatable.
Okay.
And even there's a whole fog. There's a whole battle going on. Even when the dragon sees him use magic, it's just like, oh, fire magic. I'm completely. Oh my god! What is going on? And Shin's finally like, screw it. Puts him in a mirage prison, and Shin has the ability to see the memories of people it puts in the prison and sees.
Of course he does.
Our hero's memories. And our hero gets to see when one of the 2 people who confess to him. And it's supposed to be a ideal desire dream of her being happy and just him having this sort of moments of, this isn't what happened. Why would you do this? And then him getting all mad, breaks out of the prison, and he's ready to throw hands. He's like, thanks for showing me how weak I am. And then it just shows the dragon laying on the ground like a corky puppy, surrendering, showing its belly.
Ah, okay.
And it's a nice little shot of the dragon. Then
basically Lola at any time.
Yeah, it's a nice shot of the dragon and then the puppy that's seeing the memory of. And just them, because the dragon saw memories he was interested in, talks to him, they agree that they're going to form a contract, and the dragon's like, all right, we'll be 50-50. You push me back. 70-30? Parent-child? 80-20? Control? He's got the 80, the dragon's got the 20. And now he has a dragon servant who, because of the contract, is given a form closer to him, so it's now a blonde female and I think it's technically a yukata, not a kimono. More or less dressed up like a Ronin samurai.
Right.
And that's sort of how it ends.
So no spiders in this episode?
No, spiders next episode.
Fuck.
And that's a whole episode.
I don't know if I'm...
And it's a big spider.
See, I saw that. Okay, I've seen that in like the trailers and stuff. I'm not fond of that.
I mean, just skip episode 2 because it's not going to be for you. Because the spider literally bites into him and eats on it.
That dude, I would literally like just cringe and just look away. I wouldn't be able to watch that. I'm such a baby. I hate spiders, man. Well, I mean, you read this series years ago. I mean, you enjoyed it years ago. So, I mean, how was watching the first episode for you? Did you overall just really enjoy it? Or is it kind of like a situation where it's like, let's say like Shaman King. We liked it once upon a time. Watching the remake was not for us. You know, how was watching this after you read it so long ago?
I mean, it was still very entertaining. Still interesting to me. I even, as I told you earlier, decided it's been like 3 years. It's probably got new chapters. I'll go catch up again.
See what's going on with it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I kind of low key want to watch, but I'm kind of scared of that second episode.
Literally just skip episode 2 and then maybe 4. Because after that, the spider people sort of become human people. They're still spider people.
See, I mean, the human spiders in the trailer made me turn off the trailer. I was like, oh, nope, I'm out. Fuck that. What is that? What crazy psychopath created this?
There's literally only 4 of them, too.
I don't know if I can watch this.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, literally the main spider after the second episode will not be a spider. And then there's her servant or spider people, and then, like, they rarely show up.
I might give it a shot, but I don't think it's going to end well.
Can I ask, and maybe for those who are listening who are also curious, where can we watch this?
It is
on Crunchyroll?
Yeah, it's simulcasting on Crunchyroll.
Yep.
I'm watching it right after this.
Yeah, it's good.
Josh is like, let's go. Well, we're going to add it to our lineup. If you're going to watch it every single week, it is one of the new series of the summer. That the summer lineup is starting to come out, as most of it already has. I do think it is a lot weaker lineup than spring and especially winter for sure. It cannot even hold a candle to either one of those from what I've seen coming out. That's my opinion just from what I've seen. But this is a series that could potentially be pretty solid. I just don't know if it's going to be for me because of my just horrible fear of spiders.
I mean, literally, it just get past the first couple episodes, you'll be good.
I don't know, man. The spider people creep me out. Those things should not be a thing. Period.
I mean, to tell you how bad this fear is, I watched Godzilla Singular Point, and I knew you guys probably wouldn't watch it, and I was like, Alex, if you ever do, there's spiders in these episodes.
Yeah, you told me, and I did Google what they look like. That's a big no from me, dog. That's a big no from me, dog.
Now they can fly.
That's even worse. That's even worse. No, thank you. But anyway, so we will be adding that series to our lineup. At least we've got something of the new summer lineup that we can talk about.
I mean, there's always Dragon Quest.
Well, I mean, like,
it's part of
new
season.
series. I mean, new series that just came out.
One Piece. One Piece will never end.
That's true. One Piece will never end. But what about Tokyo Revengers, episode 13? How you guys feeling about this one?
Tick tock, tick tock.
I was writing something.
See, here's the thing. I know it was good, but I was completely blindsided by the actual chapter this week.
Fair.
I mean, from my vague memory, it was sort of depressing because it was literally just the aftermath of our terrible situation with Hina.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just the aftermath of that. They did take the opportunity to go see what Draken was up to, which, Naoto found out was pretty tough to find him because he was in prison. So
on death row. Which
Draken.
Really took me for a loop. I was like, wait, what?
Yep.
He spent all this time trying to save him, and now he's in fucking prison?
Yep, exactly. Which basically, the main point that Draken kind of like nailed to Takemichi is that the one regret that he has is that he wishes that he could have killed Fuckboy. Kisaki, yes.
Who at this point in the series, we've seen one shot of it, but it doesn't even shout it out. It just shows a random guy
walking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like what, episode 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only time we've gotten to see him. He'll play a part here, like next episode, right?
Yeah, next episode.
Yeah, next episode, because they're just kind of, you get to see Hina's funeral, of course, in this episode as well, which was just depressing within itself, and it just kind of further put Takemichi in a point where he's just like, I'm gonna be the head of Toman.
Hey, you remember when he said that, and see where we are now?
Like you talking about in the manga?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think the author forgot about that?
Kind of like how Hirikoshi forgot about the spy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah. It's definitely possible that did not have its conclusion there. But he ended up going back in time, of course, and they admitted that, hey, this is going to be a long trip. He's like, I'm not coming back for a while. I'm going to see what I can do to sort this out. And as soon as he pops in, he's in the bathhouse.
Public bathhouse.
With Mikey and Draken.
Yep.
Shout out to Draken, not one gets soap in his eyes. I respect that. wearing a shower cap. That was overall a really fun interaction. I really enjoyed that.
It was definitely a turn from all the whole funeral stuff and Takemichi getting up his resolve and just two middle schoolers fighting in a public bath.
Yep. He's just kind of sitting there. He's just like, why am I in a public bath? And then Mikey tries to scare him. He's like, why am I in a public bath with Mikey and Draken? What is going on? I always love seeing him come back, whether it's to the future or the present.
Yeah, it's always great.
Or the past, the present, where he's just like, what the fuck is going on?
Because in most series, you see that they're just like, they look and like, okay, I got the situation. Takamichi's just like, what has happened?
and we've talked about it before. I can only just imagine what it's like for Naoto.
No, Naoto's got to be far worse.
Yeah. Gotta be completely worse. And then, of course, the episode does end with a little tease. Because, initially when Takamichi decided to go back in time and he's just like, I'm going to be the head of Toman, his first thought was, well, the 3rd Division captain spot's open. Okay, that was his first thought. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'll use that as a start, work my way up, kind of go from there. So as soon as the episode ends, that's where it ends, where Mikey, they all get dressed out of the bathhouse. Like, we're going to go have our official ceremony for the 3rd Division captain.
It was a nice little shot there of all of them, 3 other captains, and then just Takamichi in a hoodie.
Yep. Yeah. Just kind of vibing with the big dogs. Yeah. So looking forward to episode 14. I'm really excited for Bloody Halloween. I'm really pumped.
I was super excited about the new opening. It was super solid.
Yeah.
Got a shout of Chifuya and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, Chifuya is great. Dude, I love Chifuya, so for sure. Yeah, Bloody Halloween is gonna be really dope. Looking forward to see how this plays out.
Is it the end credits where like Bloody Halloween like pops up?
Yeah, that was
like
the new
4
opening.
or 5 times. Oh, it was the opening. Yeah. When I saw that, after hearing you guys talk about it, I was like, man, I'm pretty hyped for that to happen.
Dude, yeah, Bloody Halloween is a really good arc. It is a really good arc. It's a good way to finish off. It's a good way to finish off this season, in my opinion, for sure. All right, so let's hop over. Let's talk about Eden Zero. I do want to give a shout out. So I didn't watch Eden Zero episode 12 last week, of course, but so I watched 12 and 13. Both of those watching back to back was just a really fun watch. That was just overall a really good time.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, that's just the pure stupidity with these characters. It's just 10 out of 10. the faces that Shiki and Wise makes when Moscow comes in fucking killed me. I had to pause it. I was just laughing my ass off just because of how their faces looked on screen. It was absolutely incredible. But talking about episode 13, so, we are following up with where they found Hermit, but Hermit's just basically like, and, boom, she's gone. She's like, don't know what's going on.
Her body's there, but
her body's there, mind is not. She's just gone. And then they kind of figure it out where it's just like, okay, so she's probably in this game, right? Is it called Digitas? Is that what it was? Because Witch points out, hey, this was her favorite game, so that's probably where she is. That's where her mind is right now. So
I just thought the sort of, and I mean, just the sort of slight lazy writing of just. The first thought she might be, oh, she's there. The first place her mind could be, oh, she's there.
Yeah, exactly. It really is. Because, how episode 12 ended, it's just like, hey, there's someone sitting up there. Who is that? And then Witch is like, huh. Not Witch, Sister. Sister's like, huh. Who would have thought my very first guess would be right? That's Hermit. It's like, wait, what? It's like, well, this is one of her favorite spots to vibe at. And then it's just like when they get her body, it's just like, what's wrong with her? It's like, I don't know. It's like something's hurt. Like she sealed off her heart. Like, we don't know what's going on. And then Shiki's like, Shiki, this poor dude. This poor innocent young man. He's just like, it's like, we have to fix her. We have to go inside of her and fix her. And then Wise and Rebecca's like, Shiki, we can't do that, and we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to go into details why we cannot do that. And then Witch is like, wait a minute. He's on to something. Demon King, you're a fucking genius.
And everyone else is just like, what? What are you smoking, Witch?
Yeah, exactly. And then that's when she points out, it's like, hey, she's probably in that server. That was like one of her favorite games. She liked to go there and vibe and chill and get away from things. So then we have all of our characters here. We have Happy, Pino, Rebecca, Homura, Wise, and Shiki all go into the game now, and they get to create their avatars, which that's one of the best parts about this, is creating their avatars, because it shows Shiki getting the chance to create his avatar, and he's flipping through so many things. Shout out to the guy from Blue Pegasus.
Man.
Shout out to him. Makes an appearance, of course. Shiki's going through. He's like, oh man, I could do this forever. This is great. So when they get into the game, the first one you see is Rebecca and Happy. Looks very normal. Rebecca's got like her cat ears, cat tail, whatever, but normal. They look like her, right? Then you see this young man on a purple something. Don't know what, purple steed, come riding up, up to her, and she's just like
complete T-posing.
Yeah, complete T-posing. And Rebecca's like, oh, guys, everyone else, please hurry. This is weird. What is going on? And it's Homura. Keep in mind, Homura is a female. and she made herself into a male character, and Rebecca's like, why did you do that? And she's like, it was an option. I mean, whatever, fuck it, right?
And this tan woman rolls up also and saying hi with a male voice.
Yes. And Rebecca's like, who are you? It's like, hey, it's me. It's your man Wise. Or should I say your woman Wise? And then she's just like,
why would you do that?
It was an option.
Plus,
hey, I can play with my tits all day.
And we're both women now, so we can go into the bath together.
Yes. And then the best part of it all was Shiki walking up. He's like, hey guys, I couldn't decide what to make my avatar, so I decided to make it more like, just make it like myself. And he's super tall and mega buff, and everyone's just like, what do you mean that's like how you normally look?
Wearing nothing but a Speedo.
Wearing nothing but a freaking Speedo. He's just like, yeah, I just want to make it look like me, but a little bit stronger. It's like, what do you mean a little bit? You're massive and you're as buff as can be. So overall, great episode there. We did get our setup for
Pino gave herself a human model.
Yeah, thank you. Forgot Pino, poor little Pino. She's a little android and she made herself into a little human girl. I guess she wants to be a human, that's the whole stick there. But overall, that whole interaction with their avatars is great. Fantastic. 10 out of 10. Shiki's by far my favorite because I love when he's walking up, you can even hear the ground kind of stomping a little bit as he's walking. He's like, yeah, I just want to make myself. I couldn't decide, so made it look like me. But then, anyway, so they're in this game. This is a game that's been shut down for years. Right. And
no more service.
No more service. Better way to put it. Yes. So all the NPCs have kind of developed their own
egos.
Yeah, their own egos, personalities, etc. They're essentially alive. They're no longer NPCs. And we do get a shot of our antagonist who calls himself the chosen player. So he's able to kill NPCs and not get banned for it. Basically, he's got his own scythe, whatever, and he basically he wants chicks. That's basically what he's here for. He wants some women. This whole arc is, as our narrator said, this is a very sadistic arc.
Yeah, when it started with that, I went, is it a sad arc? That I went through and went, oh, yeah.
Yeah, see, I remember reading this in the manga where the narrator popped up and actually shout out. I'm pretty sure I used that for an AniMan Plus opening at one point where it's just like, by the way, this story is not going to be all happy and fun. This story is going to be very sad and sadistic. So I just wanted to warn you and apologize in advance. And I remember reading that and I'm just like, oh, God, here we go. Here we go again with this bullshit. Good arc, though. But one thing I do have to shout out, because I know we were kind of questioning this, is where this series was going to go, because it's only 25 episodes. The opening did give us a lot of clarity. I did obviously see, and it was more relevant in this episode where they're really kind of giving the shout outs to Draken, giving him the focus. But, obviously we were very unsure and very much doubting we were actually going to get to Draken. But based on the opening, it does kind of give some more clarity where I feel like the opening really kind of point to our original thought that this series is pretty much going to end with the 4 shining stars, because we did get the shot in the opening with Valkyrie. So that does give us some more clarity there.
And I want to shout out Eden Zero's got a new opening. Dragon Quest, I'm looking at you.
Yeah,
give me something. I need new anime. I need a new song.
Come on, Dragon Quest, what are you doing, man?
But back to Eden Zero, that makes sense to me where it would end, but both this arc and the next arc sort of do build up the whole thing of Dragon. So
yeah, it does. But no, with the stuff that we've had up to this point for Eden Zero, it's fun content, it's good content, but it's, it's like the beginning of the series content, you know what I mean? So it's it's good, but it's it just kind of draws you in, whatever. Now we're really starting to get to some good shit. Okay, we're with this arc with Hermit, we're getting to some good shit, and same thing with Valkyrie coming up, and especially the stuff with Draken. Draken is a phenomenal arc, one of my favorite arcs that I've ever read. So with that said, that does end our anime talks for the week. So what was you guys' favorite episode? Mine was definitely Eden Zero. Eden Zero absolutely just killed me. It was a great watch.
I think I will go with Tokyo.
Okay, fair. What about you, Josh? You do have the ability to shout out To Your Eternity if you'd like, because hand of applause for Josh. He actually watched more than 5 minutes on To Your Eternity. Great job. He watched every episode. So, Josh, what was your favorite episode that you watched?
Man, you took away my thunder. I was waiting until the very end. I was gonna go, this is an AniMan first. We've never had this before. I'm not just shouting out one episode. I'm gonna shout out 12. I just watched Year Eternity this week. Technically, I did watch them this week. There's nothing that says they have to be new.
That's true.
Anyway, that was the whole feel. So yeah, I did watch the first 12 episodes of Year Eternity. I'm gonna shout out all 12 because they were fucking amazing, and
True.
I'm super sad that I only watched 5 minutes.
To begin
when the
with.
first episode first aired, I only watched 5 minutes. And I feel really bad about it now because watching all 12 in one sitting, it kind of hit even more.
It was a roller coaster.
I didn't have that week break that you guys get between each episode, so I just binged it all in one day. And I was like, by the end, I was like, I texted Alex like, but Goo Goo.
God, Goo Goo, poor bastard.
I know.
All right, so let's hop over to manga time. So we are doing a little bit of a switch up with how we're doing our show. We're kind of just leaving all like the major manga stuff down at the end, our ratings as well as sales. So let's go through our sales numbers real quick here. All right, so the current Weekly Shonen Magazine volumes that we have been tracking, the latest update that we have here is for June 27th, and that is, of course, Fire Force, Volume 29, 111K. Seven Deadly Sins, Four Nights of the Apocalypse, Volume 2, 80K. Hajime no Ippo, Volume 131, 66K. Shangri-La Frontier, Volume 4, 57K. Ranger Reject, Volume 2, 45K. Do want to give one random shout out that I saw for Weekly Shonen Magazine that I thought was very interesting. You know, because with Weekly Shonen Jump, if you suck, you suck. You're getting axed. That's how it goes. But I did notice, because this particular series is actually in this lineup, I'm just not shouting it out because it's not a very popular series, Tesla Note.
What?
Yeah, it's a newer series. Volume 2, I believe, is the one that's out. It only sold like 3,000 copies, right? But instead of axing it, Weekly Shonen Magazine just kicked it out of the main magazine and put it in another version of their magazines. I thought that was
fucking hilarious.
I thought that was really interesting that they didn't just kill it, because it had poor sales, wasn't being received well, obviously, because of that. But instead of ending it like Jump would, they just like, okay, you're getting kicked out of the main lineup. You're going over to this one. That if you are happen to be a fan of Tesla Note, I believe the date was August 4th. It's picking back up. So no Tesla Note until then. But just wanted to shout that out because it is actually in this current lineup. The last update, I think, was 3,000 copies. But I did think that was really interesting that they didn't just end it. They just moved it to another smaller magazine.
See, all that sounds like to me is like they have manga majors and minors.
See, that's what I thought too.
Shonen Monthly Magazine's like, this is the majors. You're not doing so great, so we're going to drop you down a tier.
I think it was called Manga Poke is where it's going.
God.
Yeah, I think that was the name of the magazine. But anyway, I thought that was interesting. All right, so for our June Weekly Shonen Jump volumes, this is the last update that we've got on these because the July volumes are out. So this is, of course, for June 27th. We have JJK Volume 16, 1.7 million. One Piece Volume 99, 1.5 million. Dr. Stone Volume 21, 217K. Ayakashi Triangle Volume 4, 65K. Witch Watch Volume 1, 31K. Sakamoto Days Volume 2, 26K. And then, of course, we have Magu-chan 4, Build King 2, High School Family 2, and Ball Parade Volume 1. None of those have been ranked because they have just falling out when it comes to sales. Now, hopping over to our July volumes. All right, kicking it off. These are our 3-day rankings. Next episode of AniMan Plus, we will get a chance to see our first batch of sales numbers, which actually should probably come out like tonight or tomorrow from when we're recording. That's usually when they come out. So first up, we have Black Clover Volume 29 with a beautiful cover, mind you. For the first 3 days, 334, Mission Yozakura Family Volume 9, 17, 46, and 70. A Gravity Boys Volume 6, 55, 214, 445. A Gravity Boys Volume 7, 56, 216, 462. It's funny to see those numbers stay so close together.
Well, I'm more curious about that just because you would think they would be almost back to back.
Yeah.
Considering if you're buying one, you might buy two.
You might as well buy the other. Yeah. So what happened? What happened to that last drop? Is what I want to know.
Yeah.
What happened there?
People just didn't realize it was out.
Yeah,
possibly.
Then we have Undead Unluck Volume 7, 13, 28, and good old 69. Hard Boiled Cop and a Dolphin Volume 4, 57, 229. Big drop there. They sold pretty decently day one and then just dropped. And then not ranked. Phantom Seer Volume 4, the final volume of Phantom Seer, started off at 21. Pretty solid. And then it went down to 67 and 110. So that's still pretty good numbers. That's keeping it pretty relevant there. Me and Roboco Volume 4, which is, of course, another JJK reference reference here for the cover. Kicked off at 24, went down to 81, and then had a pretty big drop down to 183. And then ITLC Volume 2, which is now ended, of course, started off at 131, and then it went non-ranked. And then the one that we've been waiting for to see how it was going to do, Elusive Samurai Volume 1. Started off at number 4 and then went down to 7 and then went down to 33. Damn, besides Burn the Witch, when was the last time that we had a new series from Weekly Shonen Jump start off in the top 5 for 3-day rankings? That's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
I don't know.
I mean, that drop to 33 sort of hurts, but I mean, it's still up there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That is very, very impressive numbers.
The drop to 33 isn't even that bad compared to like some of these other more established series.
Yeah,
true.
I mean, my takeaways from this are, firstly, I can only imagine the A Gravity Boys memes, because being that low is probably something that like they're happy about. Second is, out of every one of these like current series, it's interesting to see Phantom Seer doing so well, even though it's been axed. Like, that makes me wonder, like, did Jump make the right decision there?
I still don't think they did. And I think Phantom Seer selling the way that it is, I really do think that's because like the fans are like kind of rallying together. It's like, yo, let's buy this and let's show them that this was a good series. And we've said it a million times. It didn't have enough to stand out. That's true. That's fair. But I still think they could have done something else beside axing it. Maybe just move it over to Jump Plus or something, like maybe do what Weekly Shonen Magazine did with Tesla Note. Move it over, so that is disappointing. I'm with you.
It's doing better than Roboco and Hardboiled Cop and Dolphin, which are two series that are still ongoing, which is
Hardboiled just is about to end, I think, right? Or did it end?
It ended.
Yeah, it did end. That's
okay,
right.
It ended?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, the only one it's going up against is Roboco, and it did better than Roboco all 3 days. Like, that's just crazy.
Dude, it is insane. It is insane, man. And it further disappoints me that it ended because, like, with the setup that we had going into the Puppet House arc and everything, there was a lot of great setup that was going to be able to take us for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was going to be very interesting content, but Jump made their decision, and now we're stuck to live with it,
Yeah.
But it looks like Elusive Samurai will be doing good, which I'm honestly not real surprised, as I've stated back when. Once again, in later chapters, it'll be good, but until then.
Yeah, true. Now we have our, blood fetish pro tag. And then, of course, in August, we will see Elusive Samurai Volume 2 as well. So looking forward to seeing that, but I'm really actually pumped to see the sales on Elusive Samurai here later tonight or tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited for that. Really excited to talk about that next week.
Looking at it now, like it's sorry, I was just going to say, looking at it now, like it's, really interesting. Elusive Samurai Volume 1's doing about as good as Black Clover.
Right.
Volume 29,
right.
Which is also super crazy. I know we've already said that, but it's just saying it again because of how crazy that is.
It really is. And I may try to take the time, and I may try to see when the last time a brand new series, Volume 1 from Weekly Shonen Jump, did that well in top 5 beside Burn the Witch. Because I think Burn the Witch started at like number 3. I think. I could be wrong. I think it was 3 or 4. I think I'm going to try to do some digging on that because I am very curious what was the last series to do that. And then with Weekly Shonen Jump issue 32 that's dropping here in a couple days. Of course, Blue Box is on the cover, which is pretty cool to see. That is a very fast time for it to get the cover, just like Elusive Samurai. Color pages, of course, My Hero Academia, the new series Neru, and me and Roboco. I didn't actually see anything super notable in terms of the lineup. I know Candy Flurry was last, which not surprising at this point with how it's going. And then, of course, the next issue is the double issue, 33 and 34. One Piece will be on the cover. And for the color pages, My Hero Academia and then 2 one-shots were the only color pages for that issue. With that said, let's actually hop into some manga talk. Let's talk about this new series, Neru. Zach, why don't you break it down? You're a lot better than me breaking stuff down, because I'll be honest with you guys, this series, reading the first chapter, it didn't stick with me super well. It didn't resonate with me really well. I read the whole thing. I thought it was okay. I don't know. It could have potential. We'll see. But Zach, why don't you talk about, break it down a little bit?
I mean, so we have Neru, Way of the Martial Artist. First chapter is more or less just introducing us to our character.
Right.
Not even introducing us really to the world, just the character himself. Some kid whose grandpa was really into martial arts, was really attached to his grandpa, so learn martial arts from him. Goes from him and his grandpa to him at school. He's a middle schooler from what I got. And yeah, pretty much he's not great at a whole lot of things, but he's really into martial arts and training.
Right.
He has a close friend. He keeps wanting to spar with him, but he keeps refusing. But drags him along when he finds a pretty older girl who he thinks in danger. Tells his buddy, "Go help him. Go help her." Why? Because they're harassing her. You sure? I mean, yeah. And we get to talk to a high school girl. And then he's just real skeptical until he sees the guy pull something out. And he's like, "Oh no!" Jumps in, helps her, runs the guys off, drops his nice tattered book that she takes note of, and just goes, "Is this your friends? What is this?" It's like, man, he's going to be real worried about that once he realizes that's gone. And more or less, his friend and this girl have an interaction. They go to a cafe and talk. She's real interested in this guy who's into martial arts. Our MC finally realizes it's missing, and straight up on the side of the riverbank searches his bag, searches his pants, takes off his clothes into his underwear to search for his missing book.
Literally everything. He stripped down to damn near nothing.
Yes.
Down to the loincloth.
Yes.
Only to go, well, okay. Gets sort of depressed, goes walking about, and goes back to his home where it's night now, and she's waiting there to deliver the book because I assume she got the information out of his friend of where he lives. And he's out there training. And this is just some tattered martial arts book he's been writing in. She's walking around this residence unannounced because apparently nobody lives there, and sees all these drawings from the books carved into rocks, carved into walls, carved into the ground, carved into pretty much everything.
Just obsessed.
Yes. Only to find him out in the bamboo fields next to a pond trying to redraw from his memory the picture of the guy and everything, only to her show up. All right, she found the shed with the mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And took a mask to put it on and to fight our MC. Because apparently our MC can't learn just from reading, so he has to reenact the stories. And they fight and reenact a story. Because apparently Kid's grandpa saved her when she was lost and told her this same story. So they proceed to fight and tell the story at the same time. And pretty much fight. She respects him, he loses, and all that fun stuff. And she's just like, cool. You're going to come with me. We're going to go somewhere. And the next morning they wake up and she takes them to what I can only assume is a hidden martial arts school, where there's about to be a throwdown between the katana users and the spear users.
Which then gets him like super horny for this because he's like, oh boy, more people like me, let's go. You know, where they're just obsessed with fighting. I mean, like I said, I thought it was okay. I do think there is potential. This didn't really resonate with me super well, and I don't. Maybe it's just because of like how good Red Hood was, you know, for the first chapter, where I was just like, how was just riding on such a massive high. I mean, he gave chapter 1 a 9, you know, and then got this. I mean, it was all right. I mean, I'd say a weak first chapter, but can it improve?
Yeah.
Yes, we saw Elusive Samurai.
So it's crazy. I, a lot of times get bored with chapters, especially first chapters, because they're super long, and if they don't keep my attention, I'm not going to finish. I actually read all of this one, and I don't know, it didn't keep my attention enough. Like there are some things like, this kid was totally off the grid. He doesn't have TV, internet, whatever. His friend mentions that. He trains all the time, and then from what I understood from the drawings, his grandpa couldn't write. So he put down all the martial arts moves as the movements that you need to make to do them, which is why he's so obsessed with drawing them and they're drawn everywhere, is because he's practicing the movements by drawing them, which is a kind of interesting concept. But I mean, other than that, this chapter did kind of fall flat for me. I don't know. I'll give the second chapter a shot, but I don't know if this is something that's going to stick for me.
What about you, Zach?
I mean, I'm sort of on the fence at the moment. I mean, it's a martial arts series. Martial arts series usually don't have a strong opening from the ones that I've read and watched.
Mm-hmm.
Usually takes a bit of more setting building for me to really get a feel for it. So depending on where they go with this whole dojo fight thing, I'll probably have a better grasp of it next week.
Yeah, and that's true. Chapter 2 could fucking blow us away. You know, it could. Who knows? But I'd say a very weak first chapter. You know, I'm still going to read it, of course. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I read Witch Watch up to a certain point, and that never did anything for me besides like maybe 2 chapters.
You know what's bad?
Huh?
I went ahead and read Witch Watch this week again, and
is it still just bad?
It's actually progressing the main story plot line.
Oh my god! Are you kidding me? Damn it, Witch Watch!
Like this chapter was just a complete throwaway chapter. You remember the witch girl who turned into a cat?
Yes.
Okay, so she showed back up.
I forgot about her.
Yeah, so she shows back up in front of their house, and just because she couldn't forget Ogre Dude. Tagami. Is that right? No, that's not Ogre Dude.
Boy.
Yes, sure, Ogre Dude. And she sees him walking up, and in a panic turns into a cat. So it's a whole episode of...
Forgot about her.
It's a whole episode of her being pampered as a cat and whatnot. Because naturally he brings her inside. Witch Girl drops some real sticky liquid on the cat, so Moy decides it's time to clean the cat. And he naturally took care of a friend's cat, so has shampoo strictly for cats. So it's this whole thing of him doing all this stuff and her becoming super relaxed, only to lose her transformation while sleeping in his lap. But they're distracted by a comedy duo on the screen, so she sneaks out at the end, only to run into the woods to find some real shady shed. And she's just like, I feel warlocks here. Goes in and sees some shady dude and some other guys in the bag making deals saying, so how many can you get me? And just sort of saying something, okay, then we can use that to kidnap the girl, saying our heroine's name. And I was just like, they would start the main plot again here.
As soon as we're just like, yep, we're done with Witch Watch. This series sucks. It's not resonating with us. As soon as we do that, oh, by the way, there is a plot, and we're going to follow it now. Well, shit. Okay, I guess I'll try it out again. Damn it. Damn it.
Like, I literally woke up this morning and went, I mean, I guess I'll read Witch Watch, see if it's just another crapshoot. And then that happened, and then it was like, that's funny.
Damn it. Well, now I feel obligated to go try it again. God damn it. All right. Well, anyway, let's get to our actual chapter ratings for the week. Finish off the show beautifully as we always do. Kicking things off with One Piece 1018. Josh, what would you rate it?
I'm going to throw an 8 at it.
That's what I throw as well. My Hero, of course, is on a break, but 319 does look pretty dope. Black Clover 298. What would you guys rate it?
6. No, 7.
Okay. I give it a 7 as well.
Yeah. I'm going to go with 7, but I felt like a 6 too, but 7 is where I'm going to go with.
What about Dr. Stone 203?
I call bullshit once more.
Fair. Fair.
Because, and it's not even the freaking missile, it's the goddamn telescope.
Fair. Fair.
Like, I call bullshit on the missile too, but it's the damn freaking balloon. They took for a freaking sign and somehow turned that into a freaking hot air balloon and then used a damn telescope to be able to tell, yeah, we can break that apart.
I gave the chapter a 6. This stuff's not doing it for me.
Oh my God. I'm actually going to give it a 7 because I really enjoy it.
I gave it a 6. It was all right.
I agree with a 6.
Mission Yozakura Family, Chapter 89. I'd give this one an 8, and man, I'm pretty pumped for what they're setting up for this next arc. The next arc is being set up where our pro tag here is aiming to get his silver rank license in terms of the spy world, and how it was teased is the people who are going to be more than likely the judges, not confirmed, but just what one of the other siblings was speculating on.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be tough for him to pass because one of them is the older brother. So,
but don't they sort of have a thing now?
Him and the older brother?
Yeah.
Not really. They had that one moment because he was just like, hey, I don't want to trust anyone else in the family with this. So I guess I'll trust it with you. But no, he still hates his guts. Don't get me wrong. But I'm really pumped for this arc that we're about to have. I'm going to give this one an 8. Undead Unluck, Chapter 70. I'd give this one a 7. I am looking forward to seeing the fight with Spring, though. I think the fight with Spring is going to be pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
What about Mashal 69?
I'll give it an 8.
I'll give it an 8 as well.
Yeah, 8 sounds good.
Mashal's been just fire recently.
It has. Yeah. I hope this gets an anime soon.
Man, it's been so good. Sakamoto Days, Chapter 30. I give it a 9. These past few chapters have been so good.
It was good. I'd give it a 9.
Oh, dude, Sakamoto's broken.
Freaking throw me in a train. Watch this.
Yeah. Elusive Samurai chapter 23. I give it an 8. Give it an 8, yeah.
Yeah, I'll agree with an 8.
Final chapter of Ball Parade, chapter 20. What would you rate it?
5.
5. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to give it a 0. Changing my mind. This is just dropped the ball just horribly. Literally, it got so bad. You can tell the transition of where it's just like, okay, we're probably ending soon. Oh shit, we're not ending just yet. Okay, never mind, we are ending soon. You can tell.
Yeah,
it is very, very obvious, man. Blue Box chapter 12. I give it an 8.
I'll give it an 8.
Candy Flurry chapter 11.
I'll give it a 5.
I gave it a 6. What about Red Hood chapter 2? I gave it an 8.
I'll give it an 8, yeah.
Yeah, 7.
What about Neru chapter 1? How we feeling on that one?
That's going to be a 5 for me, dog.
I agree. I'm giving it a 5. It did not have a strong start. Like I said, chapter 2 could fucking blow our underpants off, but chapter 1 was not great.
I'll give it a 7. It's a standard start for martial arts manga. So,
what about Kaiju number 8, chapter 39? I gave it a 9.
Yeah, I was gonna say a 9 for that Monster Hunter sword.
Yeah, that I love the introduction to this first captain. Captain.
I'm only gonna give it an 8.
I like the 9, man. What about Tokyo Revengers chapter 213? Do you want me to hit the button?
Hit the button.
Okay.
What the is this chapter? I mean, we're getting somewhere.
Finally.
I mean, literally all these people is introduced us to find out that they're part of the freaking Black Dragons.
Yep.
Literally all of them are apparently part of the Black Dragons, but they're all in different factions now.
Yep.
And for some reason, Takamichi's the center of it.
Yep. But hey, at least Draken's getting excited by saying
that was a weird comment at the end, wasn't it?
I was just about to say that. Once again, man, Draken hits me with another cringy ass line where he's just like, oh man, this motor hasn't been heated up in a while. It's like, I'm getting excited. I'm just like, Draken, dude, you gotta stop with these cringy ass lines.
That line was said, I was just like, I don't know if he's gonna fight him or fuck him.
Oh my god. True. Do you have a rating for it, or are you just sticking with the what the fuck did I just read?
7.
I give it a 7 as well. What about Eden Zero 150?
I give it a 6.
Wow. Okay. I actually gave this one an 8. I had a fun time reading it. Also, I like the little moment with Rebecca as well. The one quick, small little panel where, she kind of like wakes up from what's going on. She's like, man, Adult Shiki was kind of hot, though. I thought that was really funny. I gave it I had a fun read. 7 Deadly Sins, 4 Nuts Apocalypse was on a break. Ranger Reject, Chapter 20. I'd give it a 7. What about God of High School, 522? How you feeling about that one? I gave it a 9. I'm loving this content right now. Great stuff going on with this, folks. Now that we're back focusing on Mori, got some great fighting going on. I'm here for it.
I'm going to give it an 8.
What about Solo Leveling 157? 9. 9 from me. This is some good shit right now. Last chapter was a 9 too. 156. I read that. That was a 9 as well. Great stuff. I give it an 8. Of course you would. What about Weak Hero 145?
7.
I give it an 8, and I want to give a further shout out to what we've already shot out in the past. Every time we see Donald, that boy's really clothed up. That boy.
So they purposely had him take off his jacket.
They did.
And immediately put on another jacket.
Yep. That very, very heavily tattooed individual is very covered up as of recently, which, we were making jokes about it. We're just like, man, I just imagine drawing all that would be just a bitch. And now every time you see him, he's just completely covered.
When the next season starts, he's always got long jackets, covers his neck, covers his arms.
Yep, everything's covered. But they did, like Zach said, he took off his jacket just to remind everyone, oh, I am tattooed, by the way.
Everywhere.
And then just put another one on. No big deal. But I'd give it an 8. What about El Cid 119?
I'd give it a 9.
9? Okay. What was favorite chapter of the week?
Sakamoto.
Fair. What about you, Josh?
I'm gonna go Kaiju with a special shout out to One Piece.
Fair. I'm actually gonna go. I'm gonna go Solo Leveling. That was a really good read. I really enjoyed that chapter quite a bit. But all right, that does it. Got everything that we wanted to hit.
You know, I want to make a slight shout out, Alex, because you like Solo Leveling so much. Look into either Overgeared or Dimensional Mercenary.
Okay, text those to me. I will do that. All right, so if you made it all the way to the end, we appreciate the hell out of you for that. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Hopefully you had a great time. Also shout out to the fact that we now have AniMan clips on our YouTube channel. We're growing. We're making steps. We're getting better.
We're doing something.
We're trying. We're trying our best here. We're one step at a time. One step at a time. Zach, Josh, you guys have anything you guys want to say to finish off the show here?
I got my usual spill. Like, comment, rate, subscribe, whatever your platform allows. If you are watching this on YouTube, you be kind enough to hit that like or even that subscribe if you like what we're doing. And if you really like what we're doing, you can then hit that bell and it'll pop up in your notifications whenever we post something. But yeah, it does help. Thank you.
And if you really like what we're doing, we have a Patreon. You can go support us there. What about you, Josh? You got anything?
I was gonna say, if you don't like what we're doing, please subscribe and follow us, and always give us likes just to spite us.
Just give us, just pity us, please.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna like their stuff. Oh, they suck so much. It's gonna hit them hard because we don't want likes, right?
Yeah, just give us the pity stuff.
Also, follow us on Twitter at AniMan Plus.
At AniMan Podcast.
Yeah, I'll remember one day, even though I created it.
That is true. Maybe one day. And we do have the Instagram as well, at AniMan Podcast. You can go follow us over there. But like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Looking forward to a lot of the stuff that we have coming up here in the near future. July 12th, very excited to see what's going to come out of that Full Metal Alchemist event here on Monday. I'm so pumped. What is this? What the hell is this new project? Full Metal Alchemist is one of my favorite series, man. So look forward to that. But with that said, until next time, guys, have an absolutely phenomenal day.
Bye.
Later.